Hey everybody, I'm back. I went hiking for 2 weeks. I did 270 kilometers. Absolute madness, right? But I did bring all the cameras with me, so I'm going to turn it into a film. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be pretty epic. All right, so whilst I was on this hike, I decided that I had room to really test out 3 things. 1, my little adventure watch. 2, my GoPro Hero 9, which is back there somewhere. And 3, the Tamron 17-70 lens, which I've had now for about 3 months. But whilst I was out there, that is the most I've used it out of the office. So I decided now is a good time to test it out because I have, in my humble opinion, quite an educated understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of this lens. So before we begin, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the new faces that are here since I've been gone. We are up 30 subscribers, which is massive. So thank you so much and nice to meet you all. My name is Nick. We're going to be getting to know each other just that little bit more, which is great. All right, let's begin. Now we're going to start with the strengths and we're going to be beginning with stabilization. Now I'm just going to say it here and now, it's excellent. It performs really well on its widest focal length of 17mm, and I would say even better, right up to about 50. Like I was able to take shots such as this with shutter speeds as low as 1/6 of a second with little to no shake, which is incredible in my opinion. Which compared to my previous uses of the Sony OSS, I was only able to go down to 1/30th. So being able to go down to 1/6 handheld is like, oh, fantastic, so good. Now at its longest end of 70mm, it did struggle a bit, but I think that's to be expected because you are zoomed in so much. So just keep that in mind. Maybe keep it to about 50 if you want to really drop down those shutter speeds. Now they say that everyone likes an all-in-one lens. Now I guess for me that statement is definitely true because as good as prime lenses are, I just can't be bothered with changing lenses on and off just to get that higher aperture, especially when you can buy something like this which has a high aperture at f2.8, constant all the way through the zoom range, which means you're able to play so much more with your subject without having to change a lens on and off, which is a huge plus, especially for me. And being on the road, you only have to bring one lens to have that much fun with your photography. Now I was able to get some fantastic compression on subjects both filming and taking pictures, such as these ones right here. And it was a huge relief to me to not have to think about maybe I should have brought another lens to get the job done. All right, now this is a weird one, but when I mentioned in my previous unboxing video up here, somewhere, I'm still trying to figure out which side it is, I mentioned it had a minimal focal distance of 19 centimeters, and it means it. Like check out these pictures of foliage. Now they're pretty normal as you're walking past, but with the ability to shoot macro with this lens, they have turned out pretty epic in my humble opinion. Now, as you're walking along, you really wouldn't notice them unless, of course, you're looking for compositions like I was that day. But having the ability to shoot macro on such a versatile lens just really adds to the value. Like, what do you think? Is it just me who thinks this? Now, I said multiple times on this hike to my friend who joined me on the weekend, to the point where he got a bit annoyed about it, that this is the best lens I own. And the more that I use it, the more I really truly believe it. Like it has completely changed my perspective on crop sensor cameras. But that is a story for another day that we won't get into right now. So I just want to add, if you are enjoying this video so far, then a big like on the bottom where the like and the dislike button is will be a huge help to me as it pushes this content out to people like you who might be interested in my video. And that means more subscribers, more reach. So if you have already, thank you. All right, let's continue. All right, so what would a long-term review be without the negatives? Now there is a couple that I had to really think about, but the main one that really stuck out to me is the artifacts and the sun flares. Now I noticed, especially compared to the 17-28 that I'm filming on right now and the 28-200, which is somewhere in the back, this lens suffers from it so much more when the sun is in the shot. Now I really tried to move around to get the sun not in shot, but as much as I tried, I couldn't get rid of those lens flares. So you just have to keep that in mind, that you should not put this in direct sunlight, which is kind of a joke, but kind of not, because you are just gonna be so frustrated with trying to get it out and you can't fix a lens flare in post, unless of course you're some super magic wizard person, which if you are, then please get in touch because I need to know how to do it. Okay, now this, I'm not really sure if it is a negative, but I'm gonna put it in there anyway. And it's just something to be mindful of, really. Like, I would be taking a picture of a nice landscape and just randomly, every so often, this lens will be like, oh, there's a stick over there. I'm gonna focus on that instead, even though 90% of the frame is a landscape. To override that, obviously you can just do touch to focus and fix it, or you can just half press the shutter and refocus again. But just keep that in mind that sometimes you'll want to be taking a nice picture of something, but the lens will have a different idea and want to take a picture of a stick instead. Just something to keep in mind. Maybe it's not negative, maybe it's just me. We'll never know. And that's it for the negatives that I could think of. Like, if you know any more, then please do pop it in the comments down below. But honestly, it's been such a good lens. Like, there is little to no fringing. The distortion is like minimal to the point where it's barely even noticeable and not even worth fixing. And it handles low light so well that you're able to shoot astro on it, which is so incredibly awesome for a crop sensor camera to be able to do that. As well as this, weather sealing actually works. Like, my little holster bag, which was a ProMaster something or other, failed halfway along the hike, and my camera and lens were effectively submerged on the rain day that I got. But it's fine, there was no issues. It was scary, it was really scary to pull it out and the whole thing was sopping wet, but weather sealing, it's always worth investing in a lens that has weather sealing. And this has it, so that's another plus. So, who would I recommend this lens to? Well, someone like me who just wants an all-in-one that has a fantastic aperture range. It's perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's pretty damn awesome. Someone who has the A6000 series liner cameras who wants to up their game. This is really going to transform your pictures and make you become a better photographer because you have so much more versatility to play with. And someone who is looking at either the 18 to 105 f4 G Master, I would recommend this one over that because this is not an f4 lens, it's f2.8. And even though you don't get the same reach, you will have a lot more fun, I promise you. So yeah, overall, fantastic lens. It is probably the best lens I've got to date. I absolutely love it. So if you have liked this video, then as I said before, a big like would be a massive help to me to help push my content out. And if you haven't already subscribed, then why not consider it and we can get to know each other a little bit more. All right, that's it from me. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Peace.